What's going on, you guys? Thank you all for being here and welcome back to the channel. Now I know it's been a minute since you guys have seen a post from me like this on this channel. It's been probably close to a month or so, and I do apologize. I can explain, but I won't get deep into it right now. As you can probably tell, there are a few changes that has happened since the last video I've done like this. For one, I got new Speak Your Truth merchandise on, and that's available on the website right now. I got a new chair. Shout out to the great people over at Respawn for hooking your boy up with this. I'm absolutely loving it. So comfortable. And if my beard is kind of distracting you, I apologize for that too. I'm not shaving or trimming it at all. I'm just trying to let it grow out. I got a new product that's also available on the website right now, specifically catered to growing your hair out even more. So I'm just trying to test it out and see how long I get this beard. I'm probably not gonna cut it no more for the rest of the year. But anyway, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna be talking about the importance of being a student of life. And what I mean by that is being someone who is open enough to understand that you can always learn something new, that there's never enough information out there, and that we as people couldn't possibly ever know enough, and we should not think that we know all there is to know about any given thing in life. Now, initially, I was gonna sit here and make a video on purpose and, talking about how to find your purpose and whatnot, but I came to the realization that there's so much more information that I want to share in a video like that this time right now might not be the right time, because I'm not in the correct mental space for information like that, while at the same time this video right here can actually help and kind of warm up to that topic of finding purpose. With that being said, let's get right into this. So when it comes down to an individual that is really capable of being a true student, a lifelong student of life, they're typically the kind of people that can listen to any given thing by anyone, even though they don't necessarily agree with everything that someone may say, but they can hear them, they can take in some of the information, and possibly later on down the road, they can kind of recall that information and they can apply it if needed. That just goes to say for someone you just have any type of encounter or interaction with, but that same thing applies when it comes to whether you're reading books, listening to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, or interview from great minds, from people that have achieved or accomplished anything in life that maybe you yourself would like to do. If you're someone who is not consuming knowledge, not taking in information, then it's a lot harder for you to even train yourself as a student to progress throughout life. Because in my studies, I come to learn that people that are true students, they never stop learning. No matter how old they get, they realize that there's always something more that they can obtain, information that they can acquire that can better themselves in any given moment. See, this is why I love kids, because you can watch that process in a child. Watch how they learn. Watch how they grow and become better, and you can see it in them that they won't stop until they acquire the information needed to walk, to communicate, to do whatever it is that they do as children. For instance, you take a baby, right? He gets a little bit older, a couple of months older, put him on the ground, you see him crawling, struggles to crawl. Eventually he gets to the point where he grabs onto something, stands up, tries to walk, only to fall on the floor after 2 or 3 steps. But that child keeps getting up until they figure it out. They don't stop. They do not give up. And that's the winner's mentality. It's said that you don't fail until you give up. And that's something I agree upon. Now, understand there are healthy failures in life. But if it's something that you really want to achieve and acquire, you haven't failed until you've given up. It might be taking you much longer than you anticipated taking for this thing to happen in your life. But if you gave up, yeah, you failed. Yeah, I failed a few times in life. But the goal that I was setting for myself, the place that I was trying to get to, there was other routes, there were other mazes, there were other tunnels that I can go through in order to get to that end all be all thing. Now, I was having this discussion with a buddy of mine recently, and we were debating, going back and forth, because he says that he doesn't set goals and I set goals. I said the importance of setting goals. He said no, goals are not important. And that's perfectly okay, but what I understood after doing enough research on people who don't set goals but are still achievers, people that still go after stuff, it's because it's already in them. It's already in them to work to grind, to hustle, and then what comes of it is the rewards that they reap. For instance, if you look at Joe Rogan, he just signed I think $150 million upfront deal with Spotify to transition his podcast over to their platform. Now that's money that he got off of the rip. That's money that would have took him maybe 3 or 4 years to make on his own from his podcast, but he was able to get that right up front. Now, Joe Rogan is someone who is a grinder, a hustler, got his hands in so many different projects, whether it be UFC, podcast, stand-up comedian, but he's not someone that set goals. He's not someone that says, hey, I have this destination in life that I'm trying to get to, and once I get there, I'm happy. No, he enjoys the process. The process of becoming better and learning more each and every single day is what makes him happy. But like I said, he is someone who has already had that drive in him. Now, if you're someone like myself who has come from a position of just doubt and worry and anger and not feeling fulfilled, not feeling like you're doing anything with life, it makes a lot more sense to attach yourself to a goal. Because it's like, how else am I going to pull myself out of this situation and into a different one if I don't have a destination of where I'm going? I know where I am, but I don't know where I'm going. Give yourself somewhere to go. Give yourself a destination, whether it be big or small. Once you figure out what that thing is, then it makes it a lot easier for you to move towards it. Because if you don't have something that you're moving towards, then you're stagnant. You're staying still. Now you might ask, well, how do I find something that I'm passionate about? What is it that I might have in life that will drive me to want to move forward and keep going? Now I know some of you that are watching me have kids, and I've seen from the comments that your purpose, your drive, your reason for being, a lot of it has to do with your children and maybe helping them figure it out. Sparking and nurturing their creativity. That's perfectly understandable and acceptable if you accept that. But if you're someone that is really seeking what it is that you want for yourself, I would say become a student, a lifelong student. Know that you can never not know enough. Einstein said it best. He said, my way of thinking has created problems and issues for me in my life that this way of thinking cannot solve. That was something that I realized about 4 going on 5 years ago now, is everything that I think I know about life, where I am right now, this information isn't enough. I will never get any further than where I am right now just on the information I have stored in my brain. Let me throw it out. Why not? I have nothing to lose. I only have to gain. And that's the attitude that I feel we have to have in order for us to really pull ourselves out of whatever slump that we might be in. I don't know enough. Let me not even pretend like I know enough, and let me go ahead and try something new. Now for me, I started picking up books. You don't necessarily have to pick up books. I'm about to sign up for Audible. This is not sponsored by them at all. It would be cool if it was, but I'm about to sign up for Audible today because I don't have enough time to read as much as I would like, but I would still love to take in that information, and listening to an audiobook will have to be that for me. I'm constantly doing the same things that I did before when I really needed it the most to put me into the mental space that I am now to keep moving forward and to figure out what it is that I want to learn, acquire, and go after. I do those same things. I practice those same things because now I'm too afraid that if I stop, then I will revert back to my old ways. And that's something you don't want to do. You don't want to do that. One thing that I heard that I will never forget, I wish I remember what the name was. Now, Bob Proctor quoted this guy saying, the ignorant man or woman of the 21st century won't be the one that can't read or write, but will be the one that can't learn, unlearn, and then learn something new. Now, this guy said this in like the 40s or 50s, but even to this day, it's still relevant. Now, when I heard that, I thought about two people. I thought about my mother and I thought about myself. I thought about how much I was like my mother and how much she was not willing to learn past what she had already known up to that point. And I was able to do that because I saw, okay, here's this woman that doesn't know how to use a computer. A computer's been around 20 years. Here's a woman that doesn't know how to drive a car, and cars been around way before she was even born. She's one of those ignorant people of the 21st century. I mean, I love her to death, but she was one of those ignorant individuals of the 21st century who cannot unlearn, and then learn something new. That right there became something that I almost got obsessed over, was the idea that I can throw out the incorrect ways of thinking that I had obtained over the past 20, almost 30 years, and I can actually acquire and learn something new that will replace that information. Now, it's not easy to do so, especially if there's a lot of negativity surrounding the information that you learned. I was listening to a neurologist the other day, and they said in order to combat one negative thought, it takes 17 positive ones. So think about that. To replace that one negative idea that was placed upon you, in order to replace that, you have to take in 17 good thoughts, better thoughts, to knock out that one. And it could be the same thought repeated over and over, which is actually important. Repetition is what's going to replace those things that you've already said or heard about yourself, or the ideas that you've obtained over and over again. You've heard those things a million times before. It's going to take hearing something new 10 million more times in order to knock out that old thought or idea that you had. You guys have heard me say, back when I first started my self-development, I would let information, audios, books, podcasts, I would let that stuff play while I was asleep, so that stuff can feed into my mind in a different way that I could not take it in while I was awake. The way your mind is able to open up and take stuff in that sleep state is different than what you could do while you're awake. It's even said that for a newborn child or a baby or toddler infant, if you play classical music in the room with them while they're asleep, they will grow up to be a lot smarter. And I presented that thought and idea to people, and I said, hey, have you heard of this? And for them to respond and be like, yeah, actually my mother played classical music for my brothers and I when we were young, when we were babies. I was like, well, what did that do for you? It was like, well, throughout school, we were in the top level and we all took AP classes. I was like, wow, it's true. So it's something to taking in information, especially the right kind of information, because the wrong kind of information can also guide you in the wrong direction. So be careful of the information that you take in. Even when it comes to music, all that type of stuff feeds into our subconscious mind. What's in our subconscious mind becomes the actions that we take on a daily basis, whether we want to or not. And I know, and I get it, some of the stuff that you have heard from me today has maybe been some stuff that you have heard from me in one of these previous videos. But like I said, repetition is going to take hearing this information, some of it over and over again, maybe introduced in a new way or with a different topic, in order to get this stuff to really stick and become a part of the way that you move and think about things. I'm not saying that I'm right on everything. All I'm doing is sharing the stuff that I learned and applied to my own life to get me into a better position, a better mental state than I had ever been in my entire life. And I'm going to end this right here. I'm going to end it on that note. I don't want to make this video too long. Make sure you follow me. I do have a different perspective page on Facebook. Make sure you follow me there. What I will be doing very soon is introducing some of the hard-hitting points from these videos on that page, so that you can freely share it with as many people as you possibly. So what I'm going to be doing soon will be introducing some of the hard-hitting points of all these videos that I have made onto that page, consolidating them down into shorter clips so that you can share them with all your friends and stuff on Facebook and all that good stuff. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you all have a good one.